I'm Charlotte Whiteside, and I am the Forest Service District Ranger, and I'm hoping to receive a promotion from this plan that me and my wonderful group are making. And by doing this, I am hoping I have to please all of my group members and have to make all of them like me, so I'm mostly focusing on making everybody else happy, but still while doing my job and burning the majority of the map.
I'm Dante Pasquino. I'm a water authority representative. My responsibilities are to the reservoir because that is 50% of the town's drinking water, the river flowing to the reservoir, and that was pretty much all that I cared about in the simulation. Everything else I was kind of a middle impartial vote.
I'm Sam Wiscavage, and in this simulation, I was the coalition representative. So basically, I just represented the town, any business owners, or just a normal community member. So I just looked out for their self-interests. My goal was to be the mayor after this, so I pushed my agenda pretty hard to try to get what I wanted on my map. So that was my identity: make sure I get what I wanted, but also compromise with my members.
I'm Milewski. I was the mayor. I represented the people of the town and the police, the fire district, all that. I wanted to be appointed by the governor to be a state official, and I also wanted to start a resource center, and that was my main goal. So I really wanted the support of the state throughout the whole thing, and that was my goal, to get the support of the state as well as the people, so I could get reelected as mayor.
My name is Sofia Aguirre, and my job was as environmental organization representative. And my main goal was to protect the environment and to make sure that no one profited off of logging our forests. So most of my goals were to use prescribed burning rather than thinning.
What do you guys think worked well and what didn't work well?
I think overall we worked pretty well together. We all respected that we had to compromise on a lot of things, and while at times it was difficult to compromise because we had such different interests, we still did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, it was we all had really different maps, but I think that it was we wanted similar things and then they wanted similar things, and Dante kind of was in the middle.
My map was especially difficult because the majority of my map, 90% of it, was burning, so I had a hard time getting the rest of my group to agree with that, but
yeah, and my whole entire map was burning, so my metrics were really hard to keep up since that's obviously extreme.
I was really about doing manual and mechanical thinning to create jobs so that I would get public approval.
And I was really against all forms of thinning because it caused people to profit off of ruining our environment.
right. And I was really against thinning because I heard it was really bad for the environment. So
yeah.
And another thing that was difficult, going into this project, we didn't know each other at all. So kind of getting to know them and then do this, it was kind of difficult. But after a couple of weeks, we our team charter and authoritative text developed. We knew who we were and stuff, and it made it a lot easier.
Yeah. And along with our written team charter, with our sets of rules and goals, we had kind of unspoken rules. For example, the nose goes, we heavily relied on to decide who would have to do what.
who would have to be the leader for the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were each the leader. We every single one of us ran around.
Right. We each ran
Yeah, which was good.
And even though it was not written down specifically that Dante's role was a mediator, he definitely took that role, and I think all of us recognize that.
Yeah, and I think it was good that we all took a turn being a leader because it gave us equality in our group, and I think we all felt like we had a say and that everybody respected our opinions and that nobody would judge us for them
Yeah.
too heavily.
And then there's no one that didn't talk or didn't care, so we didn't have to deal with that ever, which was really nice. Everyone was pretty much into it, so that made the project a lot easier.
When we started as a group, we all had our own individual identities, and then as we started to communicate and the weeks went on, and we had more conversations, then we created a collective identity where we were able to make decisions and have group goals instead of just individual goals, and that really helped us as a group because there wasn't really that much disagreement because we all like had the same collective what we wanted in mind.
One of the concepts that developed through working as a group, like we became a transactive memory system, version 2 especially, because we didn't know like our membership before going into this. Like our collective goals, we had like work it out like pretty early on. We had no idea who we were, and we slowly built trust through like working together and stuff because we had no idea what our expertises were. And we eventually worked through that, and then at the end we were like really open on and then we were like really open about like what we're doing and stuff. Like we didn't just assume everyone knew what they're doing. Like we always had to talk about it. So that's like something I noticed. We were definitely like a transactive memory system.
Yeah, through that way, I feel like we also each developed like our own social identities with each other. Where the first couple of weeks it was, like getting used to just communicating as a group and what to expect, and then that just slowly developed into being more open with each other, and then really deciding like what positions were taking more power than others. Like since mine was like water board representative, I really just cared more was around the water and didn't do anything else except for like decide one side or the other when it came down to like 2 versus 2.
Another one of the concepts we touched on was diversity and how our group has different roles and how each of these roles have different power, and through all of our different roles we still are able to voice our opinions and in a respectful way, and we all listen to each other, even though some of us may want thinning to create jobs, or some of us may want burning, and some of us didn't want a festival, but we used all of our voices to come together and make all of our decisions in a good way, in a way where we could all agree.
So throughout the overall process, it took us a while to complete our group charter because we didn't really know what our goals and what our our consequences and all those things that would be at the beginning. But through working together, we figured that out and were able to create the group charter throughout all the weeks. And that wasn't something we really did at the beginning. And that was maybe something that we should have done earlier. But I think through communicating with one another, it was easier to make the group charter and know what we all expected out of one another.
Yeah, and especially since we kind of had a general unspoken group charter before we wrote it, it wasn't too difficult to write it. It's just that we definitely put off writing it until further into the project.
Yeah, a good thing about this project is that it really teaches you how to behave as a group in a better manner. So no one really everyone was on top of their stuff for the most part. Our planning could have been more organized, but honestly, it's just a good lesson looking back on it. And I'm glad this was the experience we did for a midterm.
I think we definitely procrastinated on the group charter at first, but I think because we waited, it was so easy for us to fill out because we already knew how our team worked and how we each had our own strengths and weaknesses, and we all already got along so well that we had an easy time building our group charter.
Yeah, I would say the only thing that would really make it more efficient is if we deliberated better in the beginning to get more work done, as opposed to kind of just all being oh, well, here's this thing we need to get this charter started, guys, and then we all kind of worked on it together, which did help. But if we wanted it to be more efficient in the future, I'd say that'd be one place to start.
Overall, very good project. Very much enjoyed it.
I think it was a lot of fun. Honestly, it was one of the more fun class projects I've done.
Yeah.
It was a good way to get us all to work together for sure.
Yeah, and it was definitely more interactive, so it was more interesting rather than just memorization of
you actually learn, actually understand the terms and habits of the project.
Practice the actual communication things we learned.
And we made friends.
We made friends.
Clap.
Good
So
job,
just do this jump. So rather than put an emphasis on the importance of everybody's position, how the mayor would probably have more say, we tried to put an emphasis on equality and give everyone an equal amount of what they wanted. So I think we divided up the map pretty fairly. So no one got everything that they wanted, but everyone got partly what they wanted.
And none of us took a power position over anyone else. We were all about all of us having a say, which I think was really good because none of us felt uncomfortable with someone else telling them what to do. We all were able to say this is what I want and it be respected.
Yeah, and there was no one person that was just really trying to dictate what they wanted. They out of our team charter and our group identity, that person would totally ostracized because that's just not what we're about. like no one, we all like gave up, like sacrificed some things that we wanted, but like it's all for the greater good of like the